Right, hello. When few people get in, I'll give you all an update on what's going on, sort of stuff at the moment, because I wanted to get a video on today and then couldn't do it. So I think I'd rather just explain to people sort of what's going on at the moment, so you know why I'm sort of not going to be very good at getting videos up on time at the moment. Um, Although, like I said, I've already told some people in private messages, but I will tell most other people when they're on. But anyway, I have to wait for the people to get on first. But hopefully everybody's all right anyway. But like I said, it's right. South Wales, Old Hills, right. Lewis, right. Shackleton, right. Mike. But yeah. So what I was going to say is obviously that Mike knows, and I've let some other people know as well. I won't say all of the details on here because obviously it's a public live stream and anyone can watch it. But somebody I know died fairly recently, and because it's like a relative of one of my friends, I want to be there for them. You know, obviously because it's a bit really shitty time for them. Um, so that's why at the moment, when I've heard that news, I've not been really on YouTube as much because I'm making sure that I talk to them whenever they want to talk about stuff, rather than doing whatever. Because if I was in that situation, I'd probably want to talk. If they they feel like talking, you want to talk to people, wouldn't you? So that's what's going on with that. And obviously, I'm working at the moment like 5 to 6 days a week other than YouTube, so that's making doing videos quite difficult. So I'm going to try and get a video up tomorrow that I would have done today, but today I was just too exhausted. Cheers, AK. All right, your mother. All right, Lewis. Yeah, same mental health stuff is really important because this is what killed this person essentially. Suicide, sadly. But yeah, I won't. I really don't want to go into all that on a public stream because obviously it's more to do with the family's sort of privacy. But like I said, it was one of those things you just don't really expect, and then it's happened. And there's somebody that's just dead. So, oh, cool. So you've got a rare one, did you, Roto? But yeah, so that's thanks to you. But yeah, that's why obviously, like saying at the moment, that it's going to be sort of might be quite hit and miss if I'm uploading. Just because of the fact that if somebody says they want to talk about it, I'll just go on and talk to them about it. So yeah, there's that. And also, like I said, I've just been working a lot. So because I was going to film a video when I got back from doing dog stuff today, and then I was just so knackered because I didn't sleep well last night with everything else that was going on. And I've had like an ear. I don't know if I've had an ear infection or just like a really blocked ear. It's clearing up a bit now, but that was really painful last night as well. So I had one of those nights where I basically got no sleep last night. So then today, once I'd been to work, I kind of just as soon as I got home, crashed on the bed and I've slept like 6 hours this afternoon. But yeah, hello, your mother. If I didn't say hello, I probably did. But yeah, so yeah, because as soon as this stream ends, I'm just going to see if this person wants to play games again because they did last night, with all of it. But such a horrible thing to go through, isn't it? Any advice for a GP5? And I like your username. Just wash any talc off of it before you wear it. Really, don't use the old filter it comes with, or at least don't use it for very long. Because of the fact that there is asbestos and other shit in that filter because it's such an old, cheap filter. Yeah, I know the MP5 bag I have Brighthol is the new one because I think Piotr, when he sent it, said he sent one of the better bags for me. But yeah, so like I was saying, at the moment, it's been a bit of sort of a very weird couple of weeks because, like I said, last week there was that parcel that kept not being delivered. I had to keep chasing up every day, and then I eventually got that. And then this week it's all this sort of stuff, and I'd much rather it be a parcel in all honesty than this sort of stuff. Or there is something a bit more mundane. My mum ordered some stuff through my card, and the company's cheaped out and sent the wrong items, like the wrong brands. So I'm now having to do all the dispute on that. because we bought like a quite expensive Duracell specialized battery, and they just sent like a really cheapo brand one that's not going to last anywhere near as long, even though on the site it clearly was a Duracell. With 40mm filters, Troy, you can really go for anything. I mean, C2A1 filters, if you can get them, are very good. They're like the US ones, aren't they? We don't tend to get them over here, those C2A1 filters. I've only ever seen C2 filters now and again in the UK. But most modern military or like high quality industrial 40mm filters will be absolutely fine. A lot of the armies now you see are actually issuing more like industrial filters rather than it being like a brand specific filter. Lots of time you just get a generic kind of ABEC looking industrial filter with a lot of masks. To give you an example of what I mean by that, with the Spaziani, it came with this filter. So ABEC 2 P3 filter. So a bloody good filter, although it's probably out of date, I imagine. Made in 2014-07. Don't know what the expiry was, probably. As it's sealed, this still might be all right, actually. But like I said, it's not one I'm going to bother opening unless I need it. But it's a bit of a weird shape, the Spaziani filters as well. Yeah, they should be fine. Ask Breitol, because he knows more about the Polish filters than I do. But I do believe the Polish Ghost ones, I'm trying to think what the name are for them. The civilian ones, they are actually quite well built, same as the Czech filters. Some people, Cornholio, have said not to use them, but I've never had an issue. As long as the voltage is similar enough, I do not see why that would be an issue. Because most night visions are designed to run, slightly under and slightly over volted from, the battery compartment, if that makes sense. So if it's a 1.5 volt night vision, it probably runs anywhere between 1.2 and like 1.8 volts. So if you had a rechargeable battery in there that's like 1.2 volt, it's still going to work fine. I know with some night vision that you might get a slightly better, like brighter image if you're using a much higher quality battery, but that's it. But if it's got a good step-up system inside the night vision, that really won't matter. The only ones I've seen where that's a bit different are the ones where what's the term for it? Like you can get two batteries that are like the same size, but they're different voltages. They're the only ones you need to be really careful with, because obviously you could fry it if you put the wrong battery in, or it would just not give it enough juice. Because I think my my Pulsar's like a CR2 battery. I think it takes one or two CR2s, and it's you can also get CR123s, and they're all like the same size. I'll need to watch the Red Rider video, Mike. I've not watched it yet. Like I said, at the moment, I've not really been watching much YouTube at all, just all the stuff going on. A lot of Jorg stuff looks pretty cool, but if it's the stuff he sells, like we've said quite a few times on here, it's very expensive. That's the only problem. I'm glad you find the stuff interesting, Troy. I don't know. They're really cool, those filters, aren't they? But yeah, I've never seen those. Like, are they the clear plastic ones where you can see the charcoal in them? I've never seen them for sale, sadly, because I'd love some of those. But yeah, I've never seen them for sale, so I really don't know. Right, Catman? All right, Fuzzy? But yeah, the Red Rider's really good fun, isn't it? Like I said, out of all the BB guns, like I've got an air rifles, in some ways the Red Rider is the most fun, just because it's the easiest one to keep shooting. Because it for like the people who've used pistol crossbows, it's like having a low draw weight, pistol crossbow where you don't need to put much effort into cock it every time. Right, foggy as in they're foggy due to the fact that they've been stored badly, sort of thing, or foggy as in they're fogging up when you're wearing them. If it's fogging up when you're wearing them, get some. The cheapest thing you can do is like smear some fairy liquid on the inside of the lenses, like in a really thin film. But you can also get like proper from sport shops, like anti-dimming stuff that's, I think, designed for like ski goggles and things like that, will work. If it's stored badly, you might have to replace the lens. You can try polishing it out. I think it's PVC, the plastic in a S10, because it's is it acrylic or polycarbonate? I think it's polycarbonate in the CT12s and FM12s. But what you'll probably want to do then is, if you can't replace the lens, see if you can get some sort of plastic cleaner, you know, like the type that scrapes a tiny layer off, like you use for cleaning acrylic. That's the only thing I think that would really do it. But obviously, if a mask's been damaged and the part's properly damaged, the part needs replacing, you can't really just magically make it better, sadly. Yeah, Lewis. Well, I like 60mm filters, but they're a bit obsolete. Because the problem with 60mm was obviously a lot of the masks that use 60mm filters didn't, although they had the bigger hole in the mask with a bigger filter, the filters weren't designed to actually optimize the airflow, so they weren't really any more efficient than a 40mm filter. I mean, 40mm filters are pretty cool. I like those modern conforming filters. This is a Chinese one, but you know, like the ones the FM12 has as well, where the filter's actually shaped like that, because that also reduces a bit of weight and size on the mask. So, you know, again, you can have a filter that takes up less space this way. You know, but again, you can have that in 40mm, it just won't work with all the masks. So. Oh, that's cool, Flazzy. Oh, the good thing, like we said now, is at least I can is that your mother? Do you need to not aim due to the fact that the torch is always, like the flashlight is always shining where you're going to shoot, or just because it's so bright that basically it's going to blind whatever you're pointing it at? Yeah, saying thanks, Fuzzy, and yeah, obviously the good thing is I can do YouTube member streams again now, it seems, because for quite a while they were just really broken. As in, you know, if I tried to start one, nobody would get the notification because they changed something at their end. You know, it's a feature, it's, you know, a fix, and it just made it worse. So it's got it's basically got a laser sight on it, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that'll be it. Yeah, the lasers make them really easy to aim, because that's the thing I like with the one I've got, having that little laser thing on Hype sent me. Because the PQ14, whatever it was called, was all right, but the smaller one's much better, because it's, you know, like a stronger laser and stronger flashlight, but actually in a more compact little thing, so, you know, it takes up less room on the crossbow. I mean, obviously with lasers, you do still have the same issue with sights, that if you zeroed the laser to a certain range, further away or closer, it's not going to be accurate. But just basically being able to quickly aim and shoot with a laser, they're really good. Yeah, what you can do, Cornholio, which will work, I've done a video, I think, on this, is you can buy those like elastic rhino mounts that they yeah, it'd be good if I could do a custom image for that, but I'm not sure how that all works, Mike. But I'll look into that, because I wouldn't mind a little gas mask that was a different color for every or like, you know, the ionizing radiation symbol was just different for every tier, whatever it is, like time subscription. But yeah, you can, because back when night vision started becoming popular, you'll see a lot of the helmets weren't specifically designed for it, so they had these like strap mounts where you have basically a bit at the front that catches on the helmet, and then it's got like a long sort of tight bit of, you know, essentially like nylon or whatever, and then it's got the counterweight at the back, and they're designed that, you know, I think it's just called a rhino mount. Well, first Troy put it in a bag, but you'd have to look up the laws in your area, because obviously don't throw it in the regular rubbish if that's not legal to do where you are. I know in a lot of places, if you have a local dump, you can take stuff like that to the dump, and they know exactly where it's meant to go in the dump. Oh yeah, MS4 filters, that's the name of them, isn't it, Bright all the posters? I think mine are grey, like grey green. But yeah, so let me get you up the thing I'm thinking of, because you can mount them to some really funny old helmets using a rhino mounts. Rhino mount helmet. If I search that, Yeah, so it is a Rhino mount, but you obviously need the older style ones that are designed to, I think they've probably got a specific name, but basically, rather than it just being a bit that clicks onto the front of the helmet, you've got a, like a strap that also goes on the helmet to fasten it, and it's held on via tension. Right, here we go. This one only has 1 star, but this is what I'm sort of thinking of anyway. If this is the same one Hype sent me, they're actually all right. Doesn't need 1 star. But yeah, this, if you bought something like this, you could basically fit on nearly every helmet you own a night vision device, because it's basically just a tension system that keeps the mounts in place. There'll be a couple of helmets those won't fit on, if they've got a really weird rim on them, but most helmets, you can do that and get them on. Because I tested it with some World War II helmets, and it even works on a Brody helmet, but not quite right. Just because of the shape of the rim on it. So you can have your night vision on, but it doesn't line up with your head very well. But, proof of concept, you can have it. And obviously something like a Stow helmet would work perfectly on, because the shape's similar to a modern helmet. And any of the pot helmet should be absolutely fine as well. But yeah, it's only like the slightly stranger shaped helmets that you wouldn't be able to get that to work with. I must have missed your previous thing, Adam. Oh, what type of bulletproof jacket is it? First, it's not going to be bulletproof, it's going to be bullet resistant, because basically, depending on the thickness and the weight, that's going to depend how well it stops stuff. I mean, basic Kevlar vests that stop pistol rounds are quite lightweight and comfortable, if it's one of those and it's been kept properly. But obviously, you need ceramic plates and things like that as you start moving into rifle range, sort of, things, and then they get a lot heavier. Because on the thing there, you might be able to see, although it's disguised behind that hose, there's a flak jacket, and that's a really old Gen 1 that, would maybe stop a pistol round if you're lucky, but is way bulkier and heavier than modern Kevlar vests. I mean, America makes loads of MREs, and most of the MREs I've eaten have been American ones, or ones just supplied to NATO via American, companies. But I've not tried enough MREs from around the world to actually know. Hello, Holy Ground Beef. But yeah, you'd have to find what the model of the vest is first. Oh, so the grey one's the better. I suppose you can probably do it on date as well, can't you, Bright? Or look at the manufacture date, and that will give you an idea of when it came out. Was that in New Vegas, you're on the Divide? Yeah, I sometimes watch Steve's videos. I also like the ones where Rations eats the like incredibly dodgy old food he finds in a similar sort of way. Yeah, I mean, that can work Cornholio swag, but also you have to be careful with homemade armor that you do it all right, because I have seen people do things like that and test them and they've not worked at all, because I guess they've not bought quite the right stuff or, spaced it properly. But what you can get now, which is good, is ultra high, density polyethylene plates, which are a lot lighter than ceramic ones and pretty similar in terms of protection rating. Yeah, there's a lot of old Soviet gas masks. If you wanted to get a Soviet gas mask, so I'd say just take your pick of one you like the look of and hope it doesn't cost too much. But like I said, most people get a GP5 first just because it's really common. But yeah, you can um if it's a World War One helmet, it'll probably be worth a lot more than the World War Two one. But I'm not very good at telling them apart anyway, because I had a helmet that I sold that one person was saying wasn't actually a British one. They were saying it was like a post-war, another country's version of the British one. But I can't see how you can actually tell that by just looking at essentially, an identical helmet to the other one I had. But anyway, the person who bought it was happy with it, so that was all that mattered. But yeah, you'd probably have to find one of those sort of online guides that gives you like really detailed information on like all the different liners and that, so you can work out which factory made it in which time period. If you did have a British World War I helmet that was in good condition, you could probably get a few £100s for that, I imagine. Like easily £100, I think, or $100, and then more than that if the right person sees it. Because like with German helmets, they're all over the place in terms of price. They're generally always expensive, but if you find one that's like a rusted bucket, it's obviously a lot cheaper to buy or sell than like one that's in good condition. Right, it's not the mask that has the asbestos, it's the filter, and the GP5 isn't in production anymore for the most part because it was a Soviet civil defense mask. So all of the actual Soviet GP5 filters will contain asbestos. If you actually look at like modern Russian filters, you can put them on there. They'll work on the mask and obviously be a lot safer. But there are some masks that look quite a lot like the GP5 that some factories in Russia still make. Like the Shum 2012 is a good example. I really want one of those. I've never seen them for sale. Let me open that up right on. You can force it on, but if you force a NATO filter onto a GP5, you'll probably damage a mask, damage a filter, and won't get an airtight seal. There's now and again there are filters people find that seem to go on there even though they're not DOSed. Is that an AR500 plate he's got there? Brighto, looking at that. Or ceramic of some sort. Yeah, if it works, doesn't it? But I just personally, if you really needed something like that for survival, be very careful, like what you... I heard there was a new Matrix trailer, but I've not actually seen it. Yeah, and that's how Fail Outdoors says it's a bit like the problem there of that dragon skin armor, isn't it? Where you've got the issue, that stuff can get between the cracks in the armor, like shrapnel and stuff like that, and then just tear you apart. Bombardier, if you're paying a lot of money, something like an Avon FM53, but I don't think most people want to pay the sort of money they cost. I don't even want to buy an FM53, a few £100, even though they're cool masks. The ones I quite like are like the MO5 or is it the M99 MO5? I can't remember the exact name of it, but the one like Finland used after the M61, and there's a couple of variants of it. If you can get those in army surplus stores in the US, because that's where I ordered mine from, they're pretty damn good. If you want one, if you want the correct mask for a Soviet like uniform, you probably want to get what's called the Shum 41, which is like the military style version of a GP5. There's not many major differences with it, but it would be more authentic. Well, yeah, it's cornholia because in the modern British armour, those are used like side plates. In the ECBA, it's literally the front and back plate. But yeah, it's like now the modern British armours have like the full size, front and back plates in them. But they're way more expensive. But the ECBA plates are good for what they are, just because they're like a little level 4, plate like that. Right, let me type it out for you, holy ground beef. You might also find it with a C in its name, because the East German designation is Schum, like Suchum, but there's quite a lot of Soviet infantry masks for various kind of uses that all would be fairly appropriate. All right, Fuzzy. Yeah, I'll have to watch the trailer and find out, because it's like everybody's coming over the new June, and I'm like, oh, I hope it's good, but I really don't think it's going to be that amazing. I'm like, the costumes don't look very good. For general use, you'd probably find the Radioscam 701A is a bit better, mostly because you can get pickup alpha radiation on it, so you can actually check for a radon gas using it. But it depends what ranges you want. Both are good. Like the Terra P, I kind of feels a bit more sturdy, but I think you'd get on fine with either. So it's she, so it's a female mask, is it? We have to respect the pronouns of the Soviet masks. Yes, it's next month, isn't it? The June film actually comes out, because I know there's been premiere showings of it in a few places, and again, that's where the reviews are really mixed between people saying it's the best film ever or it's really boring and crap. Where I think personally, I probably think it'd be somewhere in between. I think it's not going to look anywhere near as cool as that version of June, but if they're doing it in two full length films, I'll probably get the book done a bit better. But June without good costumes and set design is boring, because from what I've seen, a lot of it just looks like concrete rooms. It's like, oh, but the reason June is cool is because it's gothic space stuff. It's 40K. Catman, I've not used it at long ranges, but it's in terms of accuracy at longer ranges. I've seen from other people doing videos on them. At 30 yards, you'd probably be able to hit a man-sized target in a burst of a few shots, and 50 yards is probably the maximum range you're going to get out of it before it completely loses its power or accuracy. Just people talking about various things, Radioactive Maniac, not anything too important. Which particular Soviet Geiger counter? The DP5? DP5s and IMD5s and all those are generally about between 100 and 200 pounds, depending on which model you get, if it comes with all the accessories or it's just a counter on its own. What Russian infantry ones? Yeah, let me type some in for you, holy ground beef. I've already said about that. Look those four up. No actual radium clocks. I've got obviously a lot of aircraft dials. There's an old radium watch I've got, which is my granddad's World War II one. But I've not got any wall clocks that are radium, no. Wow, I've had Geiger counters around me where there is talcum powder and they've never gone off. Again, talcum powder shouldn't be radioactive. I mean, the thing is, anything can be radioactive if it's been hit by neutrons or it's something dug up from the earth and it's got other stuff mixed in with it. But in general, there's a pretty well-known periodic table of radioactive elements. Or at an antique store sort of thing. Yeah, that'd be good. The only thing I find a bit scary of radium clocks is if you actually had that on display, like the amount of radon that might be belching out from it day in, day out. So that's why I keep all my radium stuff in like airtight containers, so I don't have to worry about radon. I've tried it, South Wales Outdoors, and I could never get into it. As in, like, I have got a Baofeng little radio somewhere, and it's one of those things I kind of find interesting, but I've always lost patience with it. I do. Hype sent me as well some bits that you might find interesting, or the stuff like this, that you can plug into a load of the radios. You know, with like the military kind of radio type gear, which is cool. But again, I've never really been able to test them because I don't really know how to use all the gear. All right, right. So yeah, no point trying to explain that to me on the stream because I won't get it. But um, anyway, I'll be off fairly soon. But as I said, so anybody that missed the beginning of the stream, watch that back because that's where I explain the thing about like a load of the stuff that's going on at the moment. I am going to try and get a video up tomorrow, even if it's a simple one, because I wanted to do a video today and then was just too exhausted with all the stuff going on recently. I don't know, Holy Ground Beef. A lot of navies never seem to have gas masks, as in they seem to do the thing of like just having an air supply system from the ship. Size 2 FM12 is medium, or like medium large, but yeah, so for the most part, size 2 is medium. Yeah, at the moment, I'm going to be working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday every week. And as soon as I'm back with the Blue Cross volunteering, that'll be Friday. So essentially, be working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday every week. Monday will be my only like full day off. Oh, that's good, JJ. Where did you get that from? If it lets you say on here, because I know they can sometimes get a bit funny about that. Anyway, like I said, I'll be off fairly soon anyway. Because are you on Twitch tonight, Mike? See you on there if you're off. Ah, okay, yeah, that is a very good price. I might look into that after payday if they've still got any in. Yes, TXC Gaming, but not directly. It does it through its decay chain because radium is in the uranium decay chain, and then radon is a decay daughter of radium. Right, I'll be on, but obviously if that mate wants to talk to me, then I'll prioritize that because when he finished chatting with me last night, that was basically I think about 10 minutes after your stream ended last night. If it's gunky and like off color because the plastics had it, there's not much you can do. If it's just dirty, soak it in some soapy water. I don't really know because I don't know like what the actual issue is of yours particular one. Oh, share. Oh, share. Sound like Dr. Evil now. But yeah, so like I said, I'm hoping I can get a video out tomorrow and Friday, but like I said, I wanted to do a video today and then I just ended up having way too much going on and then, being so exhausted when I finally got in that I just basically, fell asleep for hours this afternoon. Oh. But Yeah, so like I said, at the moment, I can't really guarantee how often I'll be streaming whatever because of the stuff going on, like I said at the beginning of the stream. But I'll see you when I see people on here, because Twitch, if you don't know South Wales Outdoors, Twitch is a website that's for streaming games, and lots of women use Twitch in states of undress to get e-money. Mike, when he streams on Twitch, doesn't stream in the nude or anything like that. Nothing exciting like that. He just streams games and we have a chat. But that's why Twitch is sort of famous, because if you look at like lots of the recommended channels, it's girls with very low cut tops. Or there's one I saw that was on like an inflatable beach thing in a bikini, like not even playing games. I was like, oh, she wasn't bad to look at, but it's sort of, this isn't video games. I don't know the names of half of them, Radioactive Maniac, because I sometimes see like news articles where they're on about like how much they make in the tax, and I thought, oh, I don't know what their names are. Yeah, he's a prude, isn't he, Rich? Anyway, see you all later, and yeah, I'll hopefully catch you a bit on Twitch tonight, Mike, if you're on and I'm not sort of talking the person through all the stuff. Anyway, but yeah, have a good evening, everybody.